Hello and welcome back to Lord of Heroes News on Nyris Gaming. We have a bit of an update coming on the 21st. Not terribly extensive, but some important things, so let's get to it. First things first is going to be balance changes. There's only going to be 2 heroes changing this time. First one being Fire 9 is 1, attacks a selected enemy, 70 to 100% chance to inflict 1 stack of sap on the target for 1 turn. Now scales in damage with his maximum health, and now additionally also fills the action gauge of fire elemental allies by 10%. Is 2, attacks all enemies, 50 to 70% chance to reduce defense on the target for 2 turns. Now additionally has the max health scaling based on his max health, and additionally increases the crit rate of all allies for 2 turns, which is a little weird because up here it says crit damage, so I don't know which one is actually correct. And also increases his crit rate by 100% for 2 turns, stacking up to 4 times. Now initially, when I saw this, I was like, oh no, here we go again, like with Earth Lyrae. But there is something later that assuaged my fears. His burst before attacks all enemies, 60 to 80% chance to reduce the action gauge of the target by 30%. Now also has that max health scaling, and also deals 100% more damage for each stack of increased critical hit rate on the user, up to a max of 400. And by default has an 80% chance to reduce the action gauge by 30% instead of having to level up. Also grants him resolve for 2 turns when there are 3 or more fire elemental allies on the field. The level 2 increase is instead going to be 10% increased damage instead of debuff chance, and the level 4, instead of being 10% damage, is going to reduce the spirit cost by 1, so now this gets to a spirit cost of 2. And this is why I was not as annoyed by this one compared to Lyrae's turn-based stacking ability. His Pure Light Scorpius Relic before, 50 to 80% chance to reduce critical hit rate of the target for 2 turns upon attacking. Now additionally has a 20 to 70% chance to trigger Blitz. The only thing I find weird about this is why crit rate specifically? Why would you ever need 400% crit rate? It can only go to 100. Seems a little silly of a choice, but at least you don't have to worry about the turns if you have this relic. But if you do have this relic, chances are you'll never have to worry about the turns, so why have the turns in the first place? Anyways, the other changes are going to be to Light Durahan, who is also being added to Link Summon, and he is a very good one to pick up. Gives crit damage to all allies, and is an action gauge booster. His 1 would attack the selected enemy, 70 to 90% chance to reduce their crit rate for 2 turns. Now additionally deals more damage based on Durahan's defense. I believe that is going to be universal, just like the health scaling on Fire 9. His 2 is going to get the same treatment. His 4 is going to get the same change, although it's not highlighted for some reason. It would attack the selected enemy, 80 to 100% chance to inflict stun on the target for 1 turn and reduce the action gauge by 50%, respectively. Now additionally does that defense increase, deals 200% more damage to dark elemental enemies, and grants action ready to Durahan for 2 turns. Moving on, the upcoming summon is going to be Earth Krom, who is our very first Earth Commander. He's going to be available from May 21st to July 1st. And here is the new gameplay change they're doing. We're going to be able to assign assist partners between heroes. This will only be available to Second Ascension heroes. You can select specific heroes who, if they are in the same party together, will have additional effects, such as here, much like skill levels, increased assist rate by 20%, 5% extra damage, 30% assist rate, 100% burst gauge gain, and 15% extra damage. If the assist partner has fallen in battle, then it will go back to just randomly choosing someone, and the levels will not apply. The base assist chance is going to be 20%. As stated here, it used to just be higher if the enemy's health was high. Changing assist partners is going to cost renown, although it looks like it's only going to be around 2,500. And it appears that the partner does not have to be ascended, just the one that you're assigning someone to. And just something to note, the assist formation will no longer be available after the update. As stated before, Light Durahan is going to be available on the Link Summon banner. Names of Legends is going to get the relics for Light Rashad, Light Lucilica, Light Rose, Rowan, Earth Vanessa, Fire Ondel, Fire Rashad, and Dark Mei Ling. Golden Gar Hunt is going to be coming on May 31st through June 10th. You will be able to get class-specific runes for this, so definitely partake, as those are obnoxious to come by these days. You will have to be in an alliance to partake in this as well. There will be a new mission pass starting on the 21st through June 1st. That is not a lot of time to complete a lot of missions, which I believe go to level 50. Never mind, it's only 20 levels. Immensely less. There's an accessory for Brant at the end of the free one. Also a bunch of Elixirs of Insight and Striker runes, which I am in desperate need of, so I will definitely make sure to do this. The premium one is going to give you Link Stones as well, sadly not in the free one. And like usual, Earth Krom's Commander Artifact Banner will run for his duration from May 21st to July 1st. Now let us look at our first Earth Commander. Here are his level 1 and 70 stats. If I remember correctly, he is a bit on the more DPS side, but he is very durable at level 70, with 12k health, 1200 defense, and decent attack at nearly 1500. Pretty good above average speed as well. His 1 is going to attack the selected enemy and increase the crit rate of the user for 2 going up to 3 turns. Additionally, fills the action gauge of all allies by 10 going up to 15%. His 2, cooldown of 4 turns, going down to 3 with levels, fills the action gauge of all allies by 20%, and Earth Elemental allies by an additional 20. Additionally, increases crit damage of all allies for 2 turns, and grants himself taking the lead, stacking up to 5 times, expiring after a wave of enemies. And his burst, spirit cost of 4, going down to 3 with levels, attacks all enemies, deals up to 200% more damage when there are fewer targets, deals 120% more damage for every stack of taking the lead, up to 600. Additionally, triggers the following effects based on the number of stacks of taking the lead. So at 2 or more, he triggers Flurry 1 time, and at 4 or more, he triggers Flurry twice. So with his 1 skilled up, that will be a 30% increase of action gauge to the team. His passives are crit rate and damage against water elemental enemies. Commander ability is going to increase crit damage further of all Earth elemental allies by 15 going up to 28% within the Alliance raid. Base Relic is going to increase his speed by 3 up to 15. Refined is going to increase the damage dealt against water elemental enemies by 25 going up to 50%, and a 10 going up to 100% chance to reduce skill cooldown of the user by 1 turn upon attacking. His Divine Relic is going to increase his burst gauge gain by 100 going up to 210% upon using skills. That is going to do it for today, but let me know what you think about finally having each element of Commander in the game, what kind of teams you would want to put him in. Like and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one.